Well, it seems we finally reached that point, haven't we? It was only a matter of time before I would have to throw this game into the challenge run rotation. In 2007, M&M's Kart Racing was released for the Wii. Finally, a quality racing game to end all racing games. Except it was critically annihilated for how awful it is. Some have even gone on to say that it's one of the worst racing games of all time. I've been aware of memes surrounding this game, but never got to experience it for myself. Could it really be that bad? Yeah, it's awful. I cannot even begin to fathom how this game checked all the boxes and shipped off to retail stores. Maybe they hoped that the familiarity and popularity of the M&Ms would swindle unsuspecting buyers out of their hard-earned money. Because look, silly brand characters that everyone knows. It's gotta be a safe buy. Okay, jokes aside, it's no secret this game sucks. But I've done challenge runs of all sorts of racing games, good and bad. And while now I've beaten this game and know that there isn't much here, I'm still determined to find a challenge within this pile of poo that's worthy of a video. And there's one and only one thing. The M&Ms themselves don't have stats, but the carts you choose do. And out of all of them, the 125cc cart is the worst one you can pick. It's the slowest vehicle in the game, and its stats are low all around. So let's approach the sound barrier and see if you can beat M&M's Kart Racing only using the 125cc cart. For this challenge, I'm going to try and beat every race and tournament mode on hard. Since our character choice doesn't matter, I decided to play as the
green M&M.
The gameplay really doesn't require any explanation. Take a look at the first race in Chocolate Factory, and you'll likely know all that you need to know.
Go! Now that's fast.
Oh, this is all motion controls, and it's probably the only somewhat decent thing about this game despite my inability to drive. Every character has their own couple of catchphrases, which they'll hardly ever stop saying.
Yippee! Now that's fast. Stop it!
I like how she screamed like, ah! The coins on the ground are collected to unlock newer carts, and if you pass through a coffee cup, they'll give you a speed boost and never respawn. Even playing terribly in the beginning, my max speed of 200 was no match for the others. Oh, would you look at that, 20 seconds? Now that's fast. Our second track puts us onto some real shit and takes the races to the streets. It didn't take long for the catchphrases to melt my peanut M&M brain. Me melt? If only I was green. Now that, me melt, now that. Now that's fast. Okay, now that's fast. I passed the yellow M&M halfway through the first lap and never saw anyone for the remainder of the race. So to make this interesting, I kicked things up a notch for the last lap. Watch this guy's one hand. Don't think I can do it? Oh, I can. How is he doing that with one hand? The haters will say it's fake. We vacate the streets and go to not just any house, but the house. Here we have the unrealistic expectation of trying to fit a sentient M&M in a cart through an average-sized doorway. But not even a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house could keep us from melting or, I don't know, something M&M's related. Now we're at the farm, though it probably should have just been called the barn. The 125cc cart crushed it again, and I sang a little number to keep myself entertained from this heaping helping of nothing. My M&Ms are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A green M&M that works 2 jobs, who loves her kids and never stops, with sticky hands and cart that's on fire. I'm a survivor. The forest was off to the same start where everyone was behind me, until the second lap when someone decided they wanted to try and pass my spot. Thank goodness there were coffee cups laying around to give me a speed boost. That was too close. It seems like this game is starting to get harder now. In the first few races, no one could touch me, but maybe it was just a fluke. Then again, everyone knows that the forest isn't the best place for a 125cc cart to race in, what with all the grass and twigs. The only thing worse than that would be in the mountains. Oh, fuck. This is not good, but what the hell happened? I mean, we're only 25 cc's away from 150. I can't be that slow. Well, here's the deal. As you move on to each race, the CPUs will start to use faster vehicles, and our poor 200 speed is hardly enough to keep up. At first glance, it seems like this race is impossible to complete with the 125cc kart. Aside from being a little slower than some of the others, it struggles to go uphill, losing speed with my sanity included. And that's only the half of it. When you hit the third lap, the others will go stupid fast and pass you with rubber banding of epic proportions. This track took me by surprise, and I found myself in the M&Ms grind session of a lifetime, only ever managing to get second place at best. So is that it? Is the run over already? It can't be. I mean, look at the time differences I've had in some of my races. They're not that far off. I'd be a fool to throw in the towel, especially on a game like M&Ms Kart. I'm not gonna let some shovelware game tell me what races I can and can't beat. So I hunkered down and grinded away in the mountains. It had to be possible to win, and I wasn't gonna leave here until I got the perfect run. Almost an hour in, I found myself in first place on the third lap, closing in on the finish line. The red M&M tried to pass me, but when he swerved into oblivion, I knew this was it.
Yes! Yes! Who said it's not beatable? Who said it's not beatable? Who said I couldn't do it? Who out there said it? I want to see receipts!
I gotta admit, M&M's Kart has hands. But seriously, this race was up there in terms of difficulty. Here's how I did it. First, it started with the hills. I jumped my way up because it felt like I was moving faster despite what my speed said. Then I cut across the track wherever I could. The CPUs will generally stay on the main path, and this gives me an opportunity to pass them. As far as the coffee cups go, I only used a few of them until the final lap, when I knew that the CPUs would unlock their potential. These would be the only way of catching up to them or staying in first place if I held the lead. This strategy took some time to master, and in the end, my reward was sweeter than any M&M could be. I got to rest and relax from the mountains at beach. Everyone else was driving the same vehicles that I just wasted nearly an hour of my life trying to compete against, so I figured I'd be in for another whooping. The first two laps weren't looking all that good, but right before the third started, the red M&M made his silly little turn again, and that was that. Another victory for me.
Behold my floating masterpiece!
See? This track is another one like the mountains where you can cut corners the CPUs won't take, except here, it really helps you keep the lead. It was a good thing I was able to do that, because there's a long ramp on the lower level of the carrier that our kart has some issues with. I'm stuck! Jumping did not help! I'm stuck!
Oh my god! No!
I thought this may have sealed my fate because it takes so long to clear. But I never saw anyone else after the first 10 seconds of the race, so I guess I got lucky here. Unfortunately, my luck would run out, because Arctic is where the run officially dies. I won't sugarcoat it. At this point, the CPUs are just way too fast, and there's no way I can catch up to them. Maybe if the coffee cups respawned, I'd have a bit more of a fighting chance, but that's not the case. So this sucks. What a way to end. But there is something we can do to at least see if any of the other tracks are beatable. If you hit the button combination B-1 on the Wiimote, you can skip to the next race. Alien Spacecraft held some promise, but without respawning coffee cups, it seems like this race is another dud. Alien HQ was a different story though. This track has a ton of hills on it, which normally is really bad for our kart, but I was holding strong in first and second place. I saved a few coffee cups for the final lap, and it came down to a close call in the end. In Abstract World, I took things off-road once more and cut around the track through these powdered sugar plains. My first race was close, enough to make me want to try again, and after doing so, I pulled it off. Chocolate Volcano had a good start, but it was very clear after the second and third laps that I wasn't going to win this. Coliseum was another race where I'd take the L, but the music was an absolute banger, so there really were no losers here. Finally, we have the stadium, which I was so underqualified for that I didn't even make the top 5 in the end. And that's all the tracks that are in the game. is what I would say if there wasn't a secret main menu track that you can access by using the level skip code at the end of the stadium. Now this is M&M Racing. With such classic tracks like, or if you keep level skipping here, you'll come across different track names. I don't know if I've seen them all, but they serve their unintentionally silly purpose well. Now that it's really all over, I should bring this video to a close and say that you can't beat M&M's Kart Racing only using the 125cc kart. Well, maybe not in the Wii version, but what about the one on DS? There's a whole other M&M's Kart on the DS that's far different than the one on the Wii. Maybe that will provide some fruitful results. Oh god. That jump is crazy. This isn't even, like, close. Yeah, that did not take longer than a couple of minutes to figure out. Thank you all so much for watching. Even though these games were just as bad as the critics say, I still had a great time, even if most of it was spent poking fun at the flaws. It's a shame they were so poorly made. Imagine if they weren't the epitome of garbage and sold well enough to warrant goofy M&M's Kart games on current-gen consoles. Well, we could have had. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, I stream all of my challenge runs live on my Twitch channel and here on YouTube. If you'd like to check that out, be sure to subscribe or follow me on Twitch. The link to my Twitch channel, along with links to my other social media accounts, can be found in the description. If there's a challenge run you'd like to see, you can also check out the description for a direct link where you can submit your ideas. Thanks again for watching, everyone. See you in the next video.
Be melt.
If only I were queen!